Hello, welcome to a new episode, and today I want to go over something that's actually been really cool and a surprise to read, and that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, and this is the first issue. And before I did the review, I wanted to get the second issue as well. So we got issues 1 and 2 here, and just so that I could get a good idea of what's going on and kind of decide if it's something that I'm hooked on and I can recommend, or something that I didn't really care for and that I can tell you to avoid. So I will say, starting off, that I'm definitely intrigued thus far. And the first issue came out a few months ago. Basically, they're IDW comics, and Eastman and Laird are actually back together. I will tell you exactly what they do. They do the stories, Kevin Eastman and Perry Laird, along with Tom Waltz. The script is usually by Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman. At least the first 2 issues have been. The layouts are Kevin Eastman, pencils and inks, Isao and Isaac Escorza. I'm probably butchering those names. You know, you've got the OGs, Eastman and Laird, back together, in conjunction with Nickelodeon, of course. But don't let that fool you. These are far from the Nickelodeon Turtles that we've been used to for the better part of a decade or something. They are dark, almost graphic novel-like, even though they're a little thin, not as thick as a typical graphic novel, but basically as big as a typical comic as far as number of pages. It's a little oversized, glossy covers, full color. The first issue was good enough for me to wonder what the hell's going on. Like, there was kind of like a big hook. Like, throughout the first issue, you're kind of wondering, who is this last remaining Ninja Turtle? Kind of, the mask is kind of neutral. He carries almost all the weapons of all the Ninja Turtles. And at first, you're led to believe that maybe all the turtles are still alive when it starts, but that happens to not be the case. As it turns out, mentally, this Ninja Turtle is kind of struggling with himself and with his life, and with he's got a mission that he knows he needs to finish. Unfortunately, though, he's embattled mentally, and he's actually having conversations with his dead brothers. I will tell you, spoiler alert, that Michelangelo is actually the last remaining Ninja Turtle, and he is grizzled, and he is hell-bent on revenge, and he is dark, and he is not the Michelangelo that we've known. At first, I thought maybe he was either Leonardo or Donatello, just because he kind of had like this drive and this like almost leadership quality that Leonardo had, but then he also had like this anger and this like hell-bent on revenge, type of personality that Raphael has been known to have. And he also, in talking with the deceased Ninja Turtles, and having those chats and trying to figure things out, it's almost like a Donatello thing, but there was like no like Michelangelo like in his personality, which I should have seen it. Like, as I'm trying to piece it together, obviously that probably would be Michelangelo. I mean, if that type of personality wasn't coming through, it probably would just lead me to believe that should have been him. But it threw me for a swerve. I mean, it kept me guessing, to be honest with you. So yeah, he is the last Ronin. He's carrying on after his 3 brothers have died, and he seeks to avenge the murders of his brothers, and also Master Splinter, said to be the work of Oroku Hiroto, grandson of Oroku Saki, aka the Shredder. So a little bit of history here. So Michelangelo is a lone survivor of an extermination attempt by current Foot Clan link Oroku Hiroto, which, like I said, is the grandson of Oroku Saki. And he's also the bastard son of Karai, by the way. And when Michelangelo decides it's time for Hiroto to pay for what he's done, Michelangelo scales the walls to the foot-controlled New York City and infiltrates the zone. He steals a motorcycle belonging to a young woman called Jones and rides it as far as he can to Hiroto's compound, then crashes it into a tanker truck to create a distraction. All the while, he's also fighting off a cycloptic Mauser, by the way. He crashes out of the building, badly injured. So Jones shows up and is deliberately, she points the foot soldiers in the wrong direction and follows the injured Michelangelo into the sewers where he is preparing seppuku. Which, if you're not familiar with what that is, it's a Japanese ritual of suicide. It's like I said, it's dark. And Michelangelo ends up passing out from blood loss. But at this point now, this Jones character, this Jones gal, recognizes him as the mutant turtle and is like, whoa, like I thought. Everybody thinks that they're all dead. So she thinks that they don't exist anymore. He's old, like probably 50s or 60s, maybe. Like you could tell, like he's drawn very well with like all these wrinkles and like crow's feet and everything. Like it's beautiful. It's beautiful. He dreams of being back home with his brothers, but he wakes up in a hospital bed, overseen by April O'Neil. And he finds out that she's been living in the lair with this Jones lady, who is actually April and Casey Jones' daughter, Casey Marie Jones. Michelangelo assumed that April had died in an explosion that also killed some other turtles. We're not going to say exactly who, because even though I know like it's not really quite discussed in great detail yet. But anyway, April survived this explosion, and she actually is missing like an arm and a leg, by the way. So that kind of takes us into basically the second book a little bit. And issue 2 just came out not too long ago, about a month ago. And like I said, it's dark, it's grisly. We do find out exactly how, at least so far, we think Raphael died. I'm not going to get too much into spoilers as to who was responsible for his death, but it appears that he basically was semi-decapitated while underwater. So there's that, and that was after he decided to go out to try to avenge Splinter's death. So even though as Splinter was dying, he kind of, didn't want his sons to go out and do anything reckless and do anything stupid, but we all know Raphael's got a hot head, and it ended up getting him killed. Which, if you put 2 and 2 together, I think, now I told you how Raphael died and Michelangelo's still alive, the explosion, the other 2 turtles, process of elimination. But anyway. So, it's interesting. April makes a comment almost like when they wake up in the morning in the sewers, and Michelangelo is shocked that April is still alive, and Michelangelo is shocked that her and Casey have a daughter. April said something like she got worried when Michelangelo was like no longer in bed, like with her, maybe? Like I don't know. There only seemed to be one bed, but then again, it's the old lair of the turtles. Maybe there's multiple beds, but it almost made it seem like when they got back there, she like went to sleep with him. It was kind of awkward, but this might be like a poorly written panel of the comic book. But anyway, yes. So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, most of what I just told you is most of issue 1, and then like about 10% of it is issue 2. I don't want to go into more details, especially with kind of like how the last panel of the first issue was like, whoa, like, holy shit, I can't wait for the second one. The last panel of the second issue, April's kind of like doing something that's like, and she's got something in her hand that you're like, oh shit, now I can't wait for like issue 3. So would I recommend Eastman and Lard back together doing The Last Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, IDW? Yes, very much so. You know, $9 plus tax. The place I was ordering them from, I think I'm on a subscription, so I get free shipping. But I think there's a comic book store like 10 minutes from where I live now, so I might be able to go pick these up and have them day of release, which is nice. But yes, I have not been very excited about a comic book series in quite a while. I'm very excited about The Last Ronin. I think it's very good. It's very, very well written. The artwork is fantastic. The ink and coloring is just phenomenal. So hats off to the team involved with making these comics. Again, like, it's not, even though Nickelodeon's on the inside cover, it's not really for kids. There's innuendos, there's some rough language, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of violence. I mean, crows pecking out the eyeballs of a rotting, decapitated head. And like I said, Raphael gets like his throat kind of slashed or slit, like that. It's dark. It's dark, but yes, I highly recommend that if you have not heard of this, to look into it. You know, maybe read something digitally online. I like to collect still. I like hard copies of stuff. So, you know, if you have heard of it and you're on the fence, take it from me. These are very good. Go out and get The Last Ronin. Issues 1 and 2 are out now. And that's going to do it for today. If you liked the video, click the like button. If you didn't, click the dislike button. If you're new here, subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a comment below. Have you started to read The Last Ronin? What are your thoughts on it? Are you into any other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books? Maybe the more kid-friendly ones or something. I mean, let me know. Maybe you can put forward a recommendation for myself and the rest of us. But until then, can't wait for issue 3, and we're going to see you guys next time.